Like, no matter how much my truth made me look bad, I still told it and was hoping that they was on my side. But I was in my 20s.
I just think this world wouldn't be so messed up as it is right now.
True.
It's just messed up because nobody ain't I it's never gonna sit back and say I'm wrong.
I feel like that'd be God testing you to see if you gonna make the same mistakes
Mm-hmm.
two, three, four times. And some people keep failing, so he can't move you on to the next
Right.
level. Welcome everyone to Three Hearts, One Beat. Today's topic is on holding yourself accountable.
Yes.
I'm V,
I'm Kim.
And I'm Lee.
and we want to welcome y'all into our topic today. Holding yourself accountable I think, is something that's hard for most people to bring themselves to.
Right.
Because, like, holding yourself accountable means a lot.
It does.
It does. And that means if you wrong, you have to admit that you wrong.
Yep.
That means no lying. You know what I'm saying? Because you know it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And
Living
knowing
truthful.
that, right, and knowing that you have to live in, like you say, your truth.
Facts.
Even if you, at the moment, 100% into something, and someone say, oh, no, that's not how that went. You know how hard it is for most people when they're 100% invested into something, and someone say, yeah, that's not how that went. And then they bring up the evidence, and before most people will say, oh, my bad. Well, I learned something new today.
Right.
They will stick into that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to take that accountability that they was wrong.
Right. A lot of people suffer with the hardness. I ain't gonna lie, at one point, because you don't want to be wrong.
Right.
Nobody want to be wrong. Let's be honest. You don't want to be wrong. You want to be right all the time. But that's literally impossible for any human being that's walking this earth. You're not always going to be right. You're going to have to be wrong at some point. So, to me, when people say, I'm a man, I'm a woman, you know what a man and a woman is to me? When you can hold yourself accountable for when you was wrong. Even if you have to go back and apologize to a child. Because a lot of people feel like they never wrong when it comes to children. No, a lot of times people be wrong when it come towards children. You gotta go apologize. As well as you could apologize to your boss, your co-workers, sometimes you could apologize to a child. You have to be able to stand there and take accountability for when you was wrong in the situation. It's many things, like if something go on. Some people, I make, like for me, I ain't gonna say right now, but a good bit of the time, like it takes for me to walk away from the situation and let it just run through my head. That's how I go through my process. And if I was wrong, I'm gonna come back and be like, yo, my bad, that this is what I meant, or I ain't meaning for it to happen like that, or just I was wrong, son. My bad. That's just how I be. Like, I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's no point of sitting there. Now you got people holding grudges because nobody want to admit they wrong in a situation. And it may not just be all on one party. Everybody have to take accountability into where they went wrong at in any situation, whatever the situation
In
may
every
be.
situation.
Yep.
Got to hold yourself accountable for things you will say or things you do. And I even think that say you did something and maybe it's a month, some time has passed. If you really realize that you did something wrong, hold yourself accountable. If you still could get in contact with that person or those people and say, you know what, I thought about that. And I sit down and I really thought about that and say, I'm sorry.
Right.
I was wrong. And
Right.
stuff. You got to know it may not be that you can figure out that you was wrong at that time, but when you do, you got to be man or woman or a human being, period, enough to go back and say, I was wrong. I'm sorry.
Right.
Right. And adding to you, like, it's very important, whether it's your child, your grandchild, a little cousin, however, a kid that
Period,
you just
right.
run across, it's very important that you tell if a kid say something and they were actually right and you were wrong, it is very important for you to go back and tell that kid, you know what, I was wrong.
Right.
You was right. I had did some further research. You was right on that topic or whatever the situation be. Because now you teaching them at a young age to hold them, how
Exactly.
you're supposed to hold yourself
Self-accountable.
accountable.
Yes.
But
Yes.
if you go to the part as you're wrong and you could see that you was wrong and you see it and you still don't go back, now you creating them to become a person who don't hold themselves accountable.
That's right.
So it's the whole thing, so you have to hold yourself accountable and everything. And we all go through things. Even as siblings, as mother and daughter, we go through situations where somebody will say something to do something, and then you have to come back and say, you know what, I was totally wrong on that. My apologies. And it's when you around people that hold themselves accountable,
It make it easier.
it does.
It make it a whole lot easier.
Because it's like, now you understand they gonna hold themselves accountable. It may
Right.
not come when you want it, but they may come back a day later, 2 weeks later, but they'll hold themselves accountable. And then it's
Right.
the same on my end. I want to be able to hold myself accountable. I realized when I used to hang around people that didn't hold themselves accountable and they're always the victim
Right.
and everything,
Right.
it makes life draining and hard. But when you get around people that hold themselves accountable, it makes it more simple. I'm gonna put it like that. It makes it more simple. It's not like it's playing in your mental now.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? And you have to be careful when you're around people that don't hold themselves accountable, because it could truly affect your life.
And when you don't hold yourself accountable for something, I don't know about nobody else. If I've did it, and if you tell me, if you don't never feel, you owe an apology to this person, you just won't be the bigger person that I'm not apologizing. That means you was already, the spirit that already let you and told you was the person wrong in that situation, and you didn't go fix it. That means you can't hold yourself accountable.
Right.
You should be able to hold yourself accountable and go back and apologize.
Right. What if you at work, wherever you at, if you in your business, you have to hold yourself accountable to the point you have to step back and look back and be like, dang, you right. Because it didn't happen to, I know I use my life, and because in certain
That's
things.
how you supposed to.
Right. I know I use my life in a lot of things, but like when I was working, basically, I work with a certain person. If they showed me a new way of doing something,
Right.
I was like, okay, that's what's up. Or if it'll be a situation where I was doing it one way and they do it another way, and they'll tell me about it, and I may be like, nah, I'm good, I got that. But then if I look back and be like, okay, your way do seem a little simple. Appreciate that. I appreciate. It's about collecting info
Right.
on how to make life easier for yourself, no matter where you at. I don't care if you've been on the job 6 years and they've been on the job 6 months. You could still learn something from that person, because they see things differently than you did.
Right.
From by you being there 6 years, you just stuck in a routine. But they coming there, you don't know where they come from, but they coming in there in 6 months and they doing other stuff, and you seeing how they moving. You like, okay. Or if you have a business, for instance, your business, something it don't have to be a big misstep. You make a smaller misstep. You have to step back, look back, and be like, okay, I see what I did wrong now. I got to fix that situation, because it's improving. It's about improving, whether it's in dealing with family situations, work, business, just life in general. You have to hold yourself accountable to when you're wrong, because I feel like it make life a lot easier for me.
It do.
Because if you don't hold yourself accountable, who will?
Right.
And it's like, a lot of people, you have people who don't know how, they struggle with that. They struggle with holding themselves accountable to the point where they not trying to hear nobody else side of the
Mm-hmm.
story. They just know their side and their side was
One focus.
right.
One
Right.
Right.
That's all they
Your
see
mind is stuck.
is
It,
see them and what they doing. When I'm right, I am right. You don't never look at it from both sides. You have to look at it from both sides and understand other people, and see what they talking about. Cause you have to hold. I just think holding yourself accountable. It makes you feel much better too when you really accept that you did, or you need to be the one to be apologizing, or you need to be the one to say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I misunderstood you," or
Right.
something, and let them know. Because if you don't, then that's going. I think that will mess with you, your spirit,
mm-hmm.
and stuff.
Your
And
energy.
And I think it also come
yeah, your
from.
energy.
I think it also come from because I had it when I was real young.
Hmm.
You know, so I want to say like maybe early teens, mid teens. Well, like when I guess I'm gonna use it like this: if you grow up in a hood area, or and there's a lot going on,
Hmm.
you really don't want to feel played. You feel what
Right.
I'm saying? So I
Right.
think a lot of people honestly struggle with that part of, if you hold yourself accountable, you seem like a
Like
less
you
than
weak.
a less
You
than
Right.
weak.
a weak man or woman. Well, actually, you're more stronger.
That part.
And a lot of people, they don't realize that, because the mentality is still, nobody go play me.
Right. Right.
Ain't nobody. And then if it's around a group of people, they definitely won't admit, like, you know what, I'm wrong, because they have to be right all the time.
Hmm.
And I think it plays back to that mentality, that mental aspect of being, you know, never wrong in front their small group of people or whatever it is. But I feel like it's something that each individual have to work on,
Hmm.
They do.
because honestly, everyone, like you said earlier, everyone is wrong. No one is perfect. No
Right.
one is right all the time. Somebody will always know something more than you.
Hmm.
And like the saying go, if you the smartest person in the room,
It's time to leave
it's
that
time to
room.
Time to
leave
leave
that
that
room and
room.
go to the
To
next
not.
room so you can start learning more. But I think a lot of people like
Excuse
to
me.
stay in a room where they know more than everybody else, because now they have that power over people.
And I don't
You feel
like
what I'm
that.
saying?
Right. And it's
And I
like,
feel like that's what it is. So they could never be wrong in that group. So if you know more than everybody in that room and you're afraid to move to the next level, that means now you gonna know the least, and more people gonna know more than you. So before you take that next step, you rather stay there
right.
and have that power over everybody else.
Right. You have people out there who like to make you seem like you're wrong in
Mm-hmm.
every situation, but it's like because they want to be, I know it more than you.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing this for this amount of time and you new to this. But that's not the whole point. It's
Right.
about, dang, I probably was wrong. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
I could listen. That's maybe a good idea. Let me see it your way. But it's like a lot of people, like you said, they like to sit in them rooms where
Yeah.
they know
Well,
more, where they know
Mm-hmm.
know
all
more.
of it. Oh, why you still don't know all of
Right.
it? That's the whole point. Like, you could sit in a room. See, me, I like to put myself in rooms of uncomfortability because does it suck in the beginning?
Yes.
Yes, it
Yes.
does.
It sucks
Yes, it
because you
does.
don't know a lot of stuff. You know maybe a pinch of this and a pinch of that, but you don't know everything. So stepping into rooms where you wrong, where you not I'm gonna say wrong, where you don't know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now when you mess up, you holding yourself accountable to, ooh, maybe I need to listen to this and see if I could do it this way. And even if that first way don't work, try another way.
Right.
Because everybody's have a different point of view and see things differently. So you have to just sit back and be like, dang, then you gotta know. You got, like, in the words of holding yourself accountable, you have to know and be honest with yourself. Dang, is it time for me to step out this room and go into another one? Maybe I know a lot more, too much in this
Mm-hmm.
room. It's time for me to go to a new room and figure some new stuff out. Because if you want to grow in life, Accountability, holding yourself. You got to have people around you that hold you accountable, but the main person got to hold you accountable is you.
Right.
You can't expect everybody to hold you accountable, and you can't hold yourself accountable.
So I got a question.
Go ahead.
Now you can be in a situation where you, at that point, you know what you might be saying or what you might be doing is right, and the other person is wrong. So how can you tell that person how to be accountable for what you did or what you said, or that at that time you was not the right, and stuff, or you just focus on yourself?
Wait.
Do you just focus on yourself and holding yourself accountable? Because you don't want to hold yourself accountable, and then if you're around somebody else, at that time you say, well, they can't hold themselves accountable. So what do I do? Don't be around that person when you don't even know how to hold yourself accountable
Well,
for what you have done or what you have said. Or
so in that situation where what I would do is I'm gonna hold me accountable, but I'm gonna let them know I'm holding myself accountable. And I would let me personally, I'd be like, look, you could have probably did this better, that better. And some people take that and be like, rah. But then you got some people who probably think about it. It's not that you take yourself fully away from them. You just know, or you could take yourself, because if it's a consistent thing, then yeah, move away from them people because you don't want them type of people around you.
They draining your energy.
They draining your energy. But every now and then you'll run across a situation where you and a person may have a disagreement. And like I said, it's not just always one party.
Mm-hmm.
It could be both parties where you got to step up and be like, look, this is where I went wrong. My bad. I apologize. I could have did this better. I could have did that better. But this is why I reacted like that towards you in this situation. You know what I'm saying? And if they still don't see their wrongs, then you move back. I ain't saying completely eliminate them from your life, but you move back and you let everything play out at that point and just keep moving forward. Like, because you holding you accountable, but they can't hold themselves accountable.
That's what I'm saying.
So, are you saying like if you a person watching two other people and you see that one person is wrong and one person is right, or are you saying it's you and someone else?
If it's me and someone else, and I know
Okay.
at any time if I hold myself accountable, but at this point, the account is not for me to hold myself, because maybe what I was saying and was the right thing, and that the other person that you are dealing with is not gonna hold themselves accountable at all. They ain't gonna never see it that way.
And this is how I know I have grown a lot, because back in the day, I used to go research it quick and be like, see, you feel what I'm saying?
Right.
Mainly if it was something researchable. But I'm to the point now where, now if I do research it, it'll be like for me to check for myself.
Right.
It was an incident before with me and someone. I don't know if you remember, sis. It was me and someone, and it was about the release date of something. And I was like, ain't no way, because I'm doing the markings and the timeline, and I researched it, and I went back to sis, and I was like, see, I know I wasn't tripping. This is actually was the release date, because the timeline wasn't adding up. But I could have been to that person and be like, yo, see, this is what I'm talking about. But I had to go research on my end to make sure I was actually right. Now, when I went to go research, I could have just went and been like, see, this is what I'm telling you. I knew I was right. But sometimes I learned you have to let them do it. Because 9 times out of 10, that person probably did research as well to see if I was, you know what I'm saying, if I was wrong, and probably would have came and did that to me. But because I wasn't wrong, that person ain't come back and say, you know what, I was wrong, man.
Right.
So sometimes you would know that you was right, but it's not, once you start growing, you realize like, hey, I don't have to go and be like, this is my aha moment, because I've grown. But if they would have called me in my 20s and some of them 30s, I would have been like,
about 5-6 years ago,
I'd have been like, look, buddy, right here,
right,
you totally wrong. But
right.
I feel like each individual should hold themselves accountable. And when you're around people that can't, Okay, when you go through it the first time, you may be like, huh, you know what, maybe. But if you see it's consistently happening, it's time to move on.
Right.
Because
That's energy
they
draining.
not go change, and all it's gonna do, well, I ain't gonna say they not go change. They're not changing in that moment, and all it's gonna do is constantly drain you. Cause now and then it also start playing with your mental. So like
Mhm.
if you a person that constantly, that's also a form of mental abuse.
Right.
So you have to also be careful of that as well.
Right. You have to. Right. The mental abuse. That's a whole. I know we say it was another topic, another situation of people who have a narcissistic type personality.
Hmm.
And you have to be careful around those people because around a narcissistic person, they will never admit that they're wrong.
Never.
They will make you feel like you're wrong, even if you prove them that you're right.
Hmm.
They go come up with other case scenarios and all kind of stuff.
They would
Like
leave that topic
they
and go
believe
somewhere else to a whole nother
the
topic
topic, and
just
then
to.
now y'all further from what y'all was even
Right.
talking about in the beginning. So to be around people that don't hold themselves accountable, it's not easy always. It depends honestly, and it also depends on how much you are at peace within.
Hmm.
Like you said, that person never came back and said anything, but I'm pretty sure you still tolerate that person or deal with that person if you do. And it's like at that point you like, they're just not where I'm at right now in life.
Hmm.
Their mind is not where I'm at. Their energy not where I'm at. The vibrations is totally different. So when you dealing with somebody who can't even hold themselves accountable, it's hard to really hold conversation with people like that because you're not going to admit that you're ever wrong. Everybody else is wrong
Hmm.
and you always right. And if you is always right, yeah, I can't be around people like that. Not me personally, because nobody is always right. You got people who can't admit that they're wrong. And that's I'm gonna use a big word for y'all. Blasphemous to me. That's
Blasphemy.
blasphemous. Like basically it's to the point where it's sad. It's really sad that you can't hold yourself accountable at any point in your life. Yeah, I could see, even though like V said earlier, you do it to a kid, you tell a kid, yo, my bad, you was right, I was wrong.
Hmm.
But if you have adults in your life that's not teaching you that, now you growing up
Hmm.
and you not holding yourself accountable,
Adding to the problem.
adding to the problem. One thing I would say in my life, thinking back, and this just hit me, y'all always held me accountable for the stuff that I did when I was working at a particular job. And I used to always get suspended. And
Hmm.
I used to come home and blame everybody for for me getting suspended. Y'all told me when I was wrong, and y'all told me when you was right to stand up for yourself. But y'all also told me them people gotta feed their family too. They can't be taking up for you when you wrong or when it's a situation like. And that made me look at a whole lot of things differently because it's true. Like, and that stuck with me. Like y'all may
Hmm.
not know it, but that really stuck with me because I look at it like, shoot, you got a family to feed. I ain't. It's all good. I ain't tripping.
Right.
At the end of the day, but you also can't expect everybody to always have your back.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But you shouldn't never want a yes man. You should want people
Right.
that's going to hold you accountable just as well as you hold yourself accountable. And having people that hold you accountable plays a big part in your life.
Hmm.
It plays a major key part in your life because now you start seeing when you was wrong. Yeah, in your mind, when you going through the situation and you mad, you like, man, they tripping. Blah blah blah. You upset. They wrong. They doing you all wrong. You ain't see one part of what you did wrong. But when somebody you come home and see, I was the type of person. I'm coming home telling I'm that mad. I'm coming home telling you verbatim of everything that was said. I may not know every single word, but I know about the amount. I even said what I said. And you know how many times But you shouldn't have said that. You was wrong. I didn't heard that so much. It's like you gotta get help. You have to have people around you. In order for you to learn how to hold yourself accountable, you have to have people around you
Mm-hmm.
at an early age
That
to
could
teach you how
accountability.
accountability on your actions. Like, you're not always right. Did when I got suspended from my job, I don't even know. I could probably count on my hand. I don't know how many times I got suspended, but I was in my early 20s. I had bad anger issues, and it was times where, yeah, you was wrong for that. You shouldn't have did that. Lee, you should have did that. You should have handled that differently. How you expect somebody to take up for you and you was wrong? Them people got bills to pay. They can't be taking up for you. Them people got to, hold down it. I remember all them conversations. So hearing that, going from a job to another job is like, it's like you learn when to hold yourself accountable. And that also taught me as I moved on from one job to the next how to control my anger.
Right.
Because I was also told I had anger issues. It taught me how to control my anger and keep it within and disperse it a whole nother way. And I had to teach myself that.
Right. And when you're around other people, other adults, and they are holding you accountable,
Hmm.
to you, if you a person that's victim, play victim a lot,
Right.
you gonna look. It's gonna seem to you like everybody against you.
Right.
Nobody hear me. Nobody understand me. And in some cases, you have some people that's not the victim that actually go through that because their mind is somewhere else, and people really don't understand them because they constantly educating their mind. But when you a person, and if somebody holds you accountable, and you go straight into victim mode, I would say start paying attention to your patterns and start working on yourself, because if you do something wrong and somebody say, that was wrong what you did,
Right.
and explain to you why it was wrong, and it was like, you could have like did it like this or whatever, because you say that to this person, that person really didn't say too much to you, but you just went like, if you wanted to hurt that person feelings or whatever and make them seem below dirt or whatever, you might want to look into that. And now you feel like I'm against you, but the
Right.
whole while I'm for you, and I want to see you grow, and I
Right.
want to see you thrive. But first you got to hold yourself accountable. And her talking on stories, I remember, she used to chew me down. She used to be like, she'll go talk to mom or pops, whoever it was, and she'll say how how she was feeling. Whatever the topic, it's different topics that go on. And she'll go tell them
We
how
sisters.
she was feeling. And she'll say, you coming with me? And I was like, right, because that was kind of wrong how that situation went. And we'll get to them, and she'll be going. Not going off and fussing, but just expressing how she felt
Emotionally
and how she was hurt and all that, and how this played a part, how that played a part. And I'll be with her. I'll be like, right, like y'all hear me on the mic, right, right. And then she'll take a left turn somewhere. And I'll be sitting there like, oh Lord. And then after we leave y'all, she'll come and tell me, because you don't have my back. You don't have my back. I was like, I did have your back up until when you say this.
You took that left turn.
You went way left. Like you was focused on this right here, and now you just, what I'm saying? Like, and you want me to be with you on that?
She is that person. She didn't help me accountable for a lot of
Let
things.
the tears flow, sis.
Girl, ain't no tip. I put the little oil on my hand, and now my eye.
Onions.
It's a little water. Yeah, them onions, boy. But I'm just playing. But nah, it's that.
Accountability is something that you got to, in your own life, in your body, in your soul, you have to deal with, and you have to fix. Because if we all fix and hold ourselves accountability to things, I just think this world wouldn't be so messed up as it is right now.
True.
It's just messed up because nobody is never gonna sit back and say I'm wrong. Maybe that person was right, or or what they did was right. Everything they did was wrong. So
Right.
I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, because you will not hold yourself accountability, the accountability of never
Accountable, right?
yeah, accountable for never being, being wrong. You wrong sometimes.
So I'm like this. If somebody say they love you
Mm.
and they can't hold you accountable, they don't love you.
Right.
They just trying to get what they could get from you while they can. Because true love, no matter who it is, whether it's a spouse, whether it's a significant other, your best friend, your sister, your brother, your mama, your daddy, cousin, whoever, they can't hold you accountable and they sit there and be like, because I love you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't love you because you have to be able to tell people when they're wrong, but also you have to tell the truth in the whole situation. Like, no matter how much my truth made me look bad, I still told it and was hoping that they was on my side. But I was in my 20s. I was hoping it was on my side, but it was the words of, you was wrong. You shouldn't have did that. You should have reacted differently to that. I see why you may have your emotions may have went there, but you could have handled that situation differently. I done heard that so many times from these two right here to is like going out there in the workforce or just being out there in the world. I learned when it was time to hold me accountable for the things that I did and the things that I was, where I was wrong at. Now, if I was right and I came home and you told me you was good, you supposed to do it, that I was bucked up. I was like, yeah, I was right. Because telling them something, I ain't always get I was right. I got when you should have handled that a different way. And vice versa, like with V. Like, if she do something, she may not have meant it in a certain way, but when she says something to somebody in the house or in the family, I'd be like, ooh, sis, you might could have said that a little differently.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly when it comes to mama, though. But, that's just, my empathy for my mama. Sometimes I be like, "Who that was?"
Then
But even when it
then
comes
shit
to,
had me question myself. Dang, I was that harsh.
Yep, I know.
And then I gotta go back. Mom, was I harsh? And Mama be like, no, you was right, because that was the truth.
cause she
whatever.
hardcore, she don't buy
But
more.
see, I think what happens is she was always like that with us. So that made
She always
us,
held us accountable for what we
by
did.
her always being blankly honest with us growing up,
Ooh,
it made us blankly honest with each other and with her.
she blunt.
But it was never on no disrespect. Now, I don't want nobody to think I've been here and be like, oh, no, it's nothing like that. I just, like I'm talking right now, and I just be straightforward. And I'm used to that. So when I get around people who is not like that, can't take that straightforwardness, I'm like, Now, a lot of times I be quiet. People think I'm soft, on the part because, like, I'm quiet
What
and
people?
I don't say much.
They do have people. They
I'm
do
just playing.
have people that will, cause you quiet and you don't say nothing.
I just be reading.
They almost like they think
I learned to do that.
they'll think you a pushover. A whole while,
Mm-mm.
God then gave you that sense that I could read you. I could see what you're about.
What
I
the-
could do this. I just do it, and
What's
I
that
ain't got
saying?
everything.
Peace be still.
And everything don't require a blunt answer or something like that.
Oh, a response.
A response. Go ahead and say if that's how you feel, but I'm gonna be quiet and let it be.
Right.
I don't think a lot of people in the world really truly understand when you find your peace and you loving, you walk in your peace, and they say things, you really could say stuff to them
Sure can.
that could shatter their whole world and make them feel like
This
this.
small.
But everything in
In
you,
you.
because God is like working through you,
you.
you have to really pray and don't say it. So you try they don't understand that every day is a fight not to become that.
That part.
So stop disturbing people peace, because
Right.
they did a fight to get there. And they did a lot of holding themselves accountable
for when they
to
was
get
wrong.
there.
Mm-hmm.
So please leave those people alone.
It's like, just leave people alone, period, because people really do fight for their peace. Don't disturb
They
people's
probably
peace
people peace.
because when you disturb their peace, it took them time to get there. It took them to the point where, like I was saying, I had to learn how to. They had to hold me accountable, and then by them holding me accountable in my beginnings, I had to learn how to start holding myself accountable, and that wasn't just inside the four walls I lived in. That was also when I stepped outside those four walls. So I had to learn that, and it's hard. I tell anybody it's hard because, like I said in the beginning, nobody want to be wrong.
Mm.
Nobody want to be wrong, but nobody is 100% right
Right.
ever. The only one that's 100% right is God Himself. That's it.
Right.
That's it. Everybody else, you're gonna mess up. You gotta hold yourself accountable in every situation possible because that's the way you become a better version of yourself. That's the way you become a better you. That's the way your life start flourishing and becoming more and more successful because now you see where you went wrong at, what you could have did better. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Now you sitting back like, I seen what it did to the last person when I say what I said. I ain't saying that again. Because some situations present themselves more than once. And it's just all on you on how you gonna handle those situations when they continuously keep presenting themselves.
I feel like that'd be God testing you to see if you're gonna make the same mistakes
Mm-hmm.
2, 3, 4 times. And some people keep failing, so He can't move you on to the next level because you keep failing this level.
That
It's
part.
like if you play video games and you playing one of them level games. You know what I'm talking about? So you not if you keep failing level 1, you're not gonna move to level 2. If you keep failing level 2, you're not gonna go to 3. So you have to go back and look at yourself and look at the game that you're playing and say, I'm keep failing this level because I'm keep doing this. Like Pac-Man. If you go and eat up all them little blue dots quick,
Just watch somebody on
You-
TV do that.
if you eat up all your big dots quick, you're not gonna probably most likely beat the level.
Right.
You know, because you're going to be running for your life. But if you strategize and go back each time, okay, if I do this and I got this, okay, if I take this section, I got this section, play it by section, and then you beat it, then you level up. But if you keep doing the same thing each time, you going to stay there. And you
Right.
going to stay stuck and you wondering why 5, 10 years in past and I'm still right here. Because you have to hold yourself accountable to move forward. Because
Right.
if you make a mistake and you can't admit that you made that mistake, you putting it on everybody else, you gonna stay there because you gonna keep making the same mistake, the same mistake, the same mistake until you hold yourself accountable.
Right. That's about that. That's all the truth right there. So the topic of the day is holding yourself accountable in everything that you do, whether even if you may have did something right, and it don't have to be always against somebody. It could just be something I could have did this better. I could have moved better in this situation. I could have did this. That's how you get better in life. Even when you look at when people not looking at you, or when it's not you and somebody else, it's just you against you, and you doing something, you know it ain't all the way correct. You know that you could do better. You know you could perfect it better. Like it's something as an artist. Like that one line that I don't know how art really work. I'm just using something, so don't come for me, art world. You will draw one line in your art. To everybody else, it's good. It's fire. But to you like, yeah, nah, I gotta do something better with that. You know what I'm saying? It's you holding you accountable. Whether if it's you cook the dish. To everybody else, your cooking is perfect. But to you like, dang, maybe I could have did this differently.
Well, that's me because I do that a lot.
I was just thinking that. How you know, girl? Stay out my head.
You could be like,
was like-
to us it'd be like, oh, for instance, like for us, mama cook something. It'd be perfect to us. We'd be like, man, this fire, girl. You put your feet and your toes in this one. And she'll be like, I know what I'm going to do differently next time. We sit there looking at each other. It's good. But to her, she
Right.
know.
But
So-
it also have been times that we have told her like, yeah, ma, and she wasn't upset
Right.
or whatever. She'll just be like, oh, I understand because I felt the same way.
I'd rather
And
take advice with that I'm gonna just use one of the dishes I made, the strawberry shortcake. Remember the first time
Oh
I made
yeah.
it? You and your brother came to me and said the cake is
It's
too
too
thick
thick. Right.
on it. So now I, instead of using two boxes of cake or a box and a half of cake mix, I just use that one plain box and that's enough cake. You just sometimes
Maybe
you can go
fire.
back.
They
Yep.
do.
So you could go. You could. People could tell you something, or I could give you some advice, and you just have to listen and understand it. Because I always ask the man if it's something new I done made. How was it? Because it tastes like it might have could have did this, or how was it? And that was the strawberry shortcake. You and your brother came back and said the cake too much cake too thick. So
Right.
I had to go back and make it
I was cutting the cake
Right.
in half to enjoy the whole thing,
the
and
whole
Mm.
thing.
but you don't have to do that no more because she actually make it what
Right.
it's.
And
But that's
you
all
holding
holding
yourself
yourself accountable and
accountable.
understand that someone is not against you. They just want you to thrive and become better at what you're doing.
Right.
And she didn't play the victim and was like, "Shoot, it is what it is," you know.
Right. She was like, I'm gonna go back. But she even like he said, she'll be like I said, you have to you even know. She'll be like, I kind of felt that. I just,
Mhm.
I knew what I gotta do next time. And that's what she'll do. That's holding yourself accountable in the things that you do. It's
Right.
like you just gotta be able to do that.
Today, of course, you know we've been talking about holding yourself accountable. It's gonna be a hard journey for you, but it's time to start holding yourself accountable. We in the times that we in now, not just in the country, but around the world, because you have so many people that's leaders that don't hold themselves accountable. So I'm asking you to start holding yourself accountable and holding the people around you accountable so we can make this world a better place.
Yes.
Thank you for watching our podcast today. 3 hearts, one beat. Don't forget to hit that like. Comment if you have any questions or comment for more discussions.
Right.
Hit the notification bell for new posts. And we thank you. May God bless you on your journey in life.
Amen.
Amen
Amen.
on that.
Amen.
Amen.
We want to see all y'all thrive. Let's go get it, y'all.